Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I am giving you my first impressions of Rogue, who is going to be the next Horseman. I have to say this had to be the worst kept secret that Scopely has ever had. So many people predicted this. So many people saw it coming. Obviously, a long-awaited character, very worthy character. More awaited, I would say, than Morgan Le Fay, the first Horseman. So that's very exciting. I will say that a lot of people were surprised. As many people were surprised as were unsurprised, because Scopely did suggest at one point that they were going to be picking all new characters as Horsemen, and she has been a Horseman in another game. But this is, I think, exciting news for most players. What I'm going to do is focus entirely on the kit. So one thing, obviously, this is going to be an unlimited X-Men character, and this is also going to be a character that is focused in Crucible. One thing I will just say is there's no question in my mind that Rogue is just going to be a fantastic character in all game modes based on the kit. So let's just take a look at this kit, and we'll start it with the passive. I think that's always a good place to start. Very cute name given the character here. On spawn, apply defense up to 2 turns to herself and to the entire team, and that's in all game modes. In Crucible, apply safeguard to the entire team. So now you finally have another character applying safeguard. It's not just Adam Warlock. In terms of team-wide safeguard, Scopely had always said that safeguard was going to be something that became more widespread over time. They were making it exclusive to Adam Warlock in the beginning. On turn, heal for 10% of this character's max health. Very powerful. Self-sustain should, I think help the character in game modes like Dark Dimension or Raids. At the end of this character's turn, gain defense up. So this character is going to more or less have a perma defense up, which is itself very powerful. Defense up is 50% damage reduction, 50% increased resistance, which is really nice. And then when an X-Men ally drops below 50% max health, gain taunt for 2 turns. So that's, I think, just very powerful. It allows her to fit in on an uncanny team. I think it also means that she will have, a lot of value on an astonishing X-Men team in raids. So she could, I think, help be a bridge to the new raid solution for mutant raids. When this character drops below 50% health, clear taunt from self. Safeguard prevents her taunt from being able to be cleared otherwise. So essentially what's going to happen is she's going to be gaining taunt and potentially, and she'll have safeguard if she's in Crucible, but she's going to be gaining taunt when another character drops below 50% max health. The idea being then when she gets low, then that'll be cleared, and then the enemy, will be potentially focusing elsewhere if it's an AI controlled enemy. 30% max health, which I will say I don't really understand why they do it this way as opposed to having it in the base stats, and I'm sure some of you in the comments will explain that to me. Gain 25% damage for the entire team, and then 10% drain per unlimited X-Men ally. So up to 40% drain for the whole team, which is huge. That basically means for all the damage that they deal out, 40% of it comes back as healing. While this character has death proof, gain 100% resistance. Also very powerful. We'll look more about the death proof in a minute. And then clones of this character have reduced max health and speed than standard clones and cannot reach max mobility levels. In other words, this character cannot be cloned and be very good. That's the idea. In other words, if this character is cloned, clones always, sinister clones are not as good as the original. So they're always sort of a percentage. So they have reduced health and damage and things like that, reduced stats. And that's why you usually are cloning a character for their kit. Well, this is basically saying that even in terms of kit, the character's not going to be the same because they can't even reach, I think what this means is maximum energy effectively. Or at least that's my reading of it. It's not clear to me entirely. All right, so it's in the Ultimate's turn 2. So on turn 1, you're going to have the special, gloves off, and this is going to be every other turn, which is just insane. I mean, not only on turn one, basically every other turn. You're not even going to be using, the basic that that much. Okay, I mean that's what's amazing here. And so this special is just absolutely bonkers. It's going to apply all this negative effects for 2 turns to one target. Trauma, slow, defense down, offense down, ability block, heal block, disrupted. And this is every other turn. She's spitting out all these negative effects, an ability block that can't be removed. I mean, it used to be that just having a turn 1 ability block was a big deal. And we started seeing it on a bunch of characters. And now you have an ability block for 2 turns along with all of this other stuff, and it's unremovable. And you can do that every 2 turns, just constantly. Very powerful. And reducing the speed bar of the primary target by 50%. Wow. Attacking the primary target for 375% damage, and then gaining all of the following positive effects for 2 turns. Safeguard, speed up, taunt, defense up, offense up, immunity. I mean, that's just a lot. So she's going to constantly have safeguard. She's, if she gains taunt, I guess otherwise it wouldn't be removed. So it won't get removed basically unless she's under 50% health. So she just cannot remove her taunt. She's going to constantly be putting defense up on herself. So just an insane protector for her team. I mean, this is a amazing character. And by the way, she's gaining, I think this is supposed to be 2 evade and 2 death proof. Yeah, so she's gaining 2 evade plus 2 death proof. Evade is 100% damage reduction unless it's an unavoidable attack. So, I mean, wow. That's amazing. And then the death proof, of course, is going to increase her resistance. We saw that below. And she's filling her own speed bar by 50%. So whatever her base speed is going to actually be effectively much higher because every other turn she's just spamming this and getting a 50% speed bar off the bat. And then in Crucible, she's getting 500% extra focus for this attack, which is interesting. I mean, unless she's got low focus, what this tells me is that this, you may not even need this if you have a big rogue, right? And then on Crucible Defense, this attack targets the enemy with the highest speed bar instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth, which is interesting. You might be able to cheese it a little bit, because you can judge, kind of figure out, bring a character that's fast that doesn't matter to you. For example, you bring in Black Widow, very fast, or something like that. Try to have it calculate the turn orders so that you know that right after Rogue goes, another character would go that's not important. But I think overall this should help the AI do something good with this character. Very interesting. Like instead of having, the idea here is if you didn't have this, what would happen is if you had a taunt up, then it would just be slowing down your tank potentially. And that could be a good thing, right? In other words, taking speed bar off of Wong is fine. He just stands there and retaliates. So, and a lot of protectors are that way. That have taunt up. So, this is a way of punishing you for having a protector. Then on her second turn, she's going to use her ultimate, Bell Ringer, attack the primary target for 450% damage and apply stun, and attack all other enemies for 450% damage. Copy and clear 2 positive effects from each enemy. In other words, steal 2 positive effects from each enemy. Gain 100% extra focus for this attack. The attack's unavoidable and cannot be blocked. I mean, wow. And then her basic, which, by the way, you're not going to use all that much because every other turn you're going to be using the special. It clears all barrier on the primary target, which is insane. By the way, absolutely insane. That's really going to do a number on Darkhold because they have such high barrier. They have that additional barrier and attack for 300% damage. And if there's no barrier, then it's going to bonus attack. So this is situational. I mean, obviously, a lot of enemies aren't going to have barrier, and then it's just attacking for 600% damage, which is still very high. So it's just a lot of damage. But to me, what makes this character special, and there's a lot here, okay? There's a lot that makes this character bonkers. To me, it is gaining the defense up, the self-taunting, all of the other stuff that she has, all of the survivability that she has, and then to me, it's this attack. I mean, basically, this is a character that's constantly going to have evades, constantly going to have safeguard, constantly going to have defense up, which she gives herself after every turn. Is going to get taunt whenever you start working on another enemy, or another ally of hers. So essentially, it's going to force you to attack her, and this is a devastating attack. So this looks to me on paper like the best character in the game. I don't know, but it certainly is in that conversation, and so, even if you're not super into Crucible, I think this is a character you're obviously going to want. She's obviously going to, have viability in multiple X-Men teams. She probably is going to, I'm just going to take a wild guess. She's going to be better than Kitty Pryde and Raid on your Astonishing X-Men. I mean, this is just a character that you were going to want to get, and they made it that way. Now, they also said that there's going to be a slight flavor they've added to the Gambit kit. They're changing it to say when this character or an ally rogue drops below 50% health for the first time, he gains stealth and clears defense down on this character. That's nice. So basically, he kind of hides and clears defense down on the character and gets immunity if a rogue drops below 50% health for the first time. But I have to say it's less of an interaction between the two than I would have expected. I mean, my original expectation for what Rogue's kit was going to look like is that she'd be stealing charges and giving them all to Gambit, and so she was going to be turbocharging him. And really, it looks to me, I mean, Rogue looks way more powerful than Gambit, and she's just this super amazing protector who's just unstoppable and does all sorts of cool stuff to the enemy too. So very cool character, very impactful character I think that's going to be great in all game modes. A character that I think will have value outside her team, will be amazing in Dark Dimension, and will be a character that everyone's going to want, which is exactly the point, because they're going to want you to build up 2 or 3 teams and really max them out to try to get this character in the Scourge. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. If you have comments, questions, cheers, jeers, happy, sad, angry, mad, you can you can post your comments below, or you can go to my Discord. You can also go to my Twitch stream. That is linked below too.